Welcome, everyone. You are at the Fiction Geeks channel. I'm Beth Barany, and with me is my co-host, Bonnie Johnston, and we are fiction coaches. We help writers with their fiction, and we're also fiction writers. We received a question from one of my clients on how do you write compelling, riveting, rich characters. So we are doing the series for you, and we have a passage to analyze today. Shall we dive in?
Oh, let's.
Great. And I guess I should introduce it. This is actually a work in progress that Bonnie has written for a urban fantasy novel that you're working on, right?
Yes.
Bonnie, will you read this aloud?
Oh, I'd love to. I didn't want another job. I didn't care how much it paid. Give it to someone else. Not an option, he said. Then he hung up. Yep, that was my handler, Mr. Personality. I'd blame it on the hour, but in more than 200 years of freelancing for the council, I'd never seen him be anything other than a pompous jerk. On the other hand, he never called me in unless it was serious. I offered a combination of services that he couldn't get anywhere else. I'm strong enough to hold my own against the most fearsome of the supernaturals in our territory. I'm discreet. He pays me off the books, and I know how to keep my mouth shut. That gives him plausible deniability if a job goes south. And most important of all, as far as he's concerned, I'm expendable.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this passage. I don't know where it falls in your story, but I got an instant sense of who the point of view character is. Partly, my first impression is that this character is very clear-eyed, very telling it like it is. And I'm going to jump around, but especially with that last bit saying that as far as he's concerned, I'm expendable. So the point of view character knows where they stand in the hierarchy of power.
Yeah.
In the world. I also like the sarcasm of this character and the straight talk. You know, I've never seen him be anything other than a pompous jerk. So there's no sugarcoating for this character. And, you know, just with, I also get the sense that in this passage, there's a no and then a yes, you know, give it to someone else. That's a no. And then when the boss hangs up and we hear this, you know, this listing of knowing he never called me unless it was serious. So that tells me that now the character is kind of ticking through all the reasons why they should take this job. And also sort of, it's like a plus minus column happening as we're watching, which is really quite interesting. And again, shows us this clear-eyed look onto the world. And almost like I get a sense, since we've learned that this character has been around for more than 200 years and probably longer than that, we get a sense that this character is very, it's got a long memory and an understanding of where they fit in the hierarchy. I see that now as I read through it. You know, I'm strong enough to hold my own against the most fearsome of the supernaturals in our territory. That tells me this character knows where they are in the ranking of power. and then, but in terms of value, in terms of life value, I'm expendable down at the bottom. I'm also another piece in the plus column. I'm discreet. So it's almost like the character saying, I know my value here. You know, I'm useful here. So we get so much about the character just by having them think about essentially whether or not they're going to take the job. And I get the sense by the end that the character will take the job. And we learn a lot about this character. And I've been personally, specifically not stating the gender, because in this, there is no hint of gender. You know, I don't know, male, female. I don't even know what kind of supernatural creature your point of view character is, but that's okay. I'm curious. I personally want to know more. By the time we get to the end, I want to know what is the job and what is so serious, because clearly something is serious.
So one of the ways that Beth and I have honed our skills as authors is to go through and read our favorite books and look really deeply at how the author communicated things to us. And in terms of characterization, how did the author make it clear what the character's personality was and what they wanted and what they were interested in and how they related to other people? So we would like to challenge you. Go open one of your favorite books and ask yourself, just look at a few paragraphs and ask yourself, how did this author show me what this character is like? Do they show it through relationships? Do they show it through how the character is thinking or how the character is speaking to another character? Does the character speak differently to different characters? And they probably do, because they have different relationships with each of those characters. So you get to see different facets of character. So paying attention to what your favorite authors do when they're writing is going to help you think of great ways to show your readers who your characters are without just telling them, because we always want to show instead of tell. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'd like to invite you to leave a comment below. If you have a question, especially about how to write fiction, something you'd like to know, we'll answer it in another video. So please leave your comments and questions below. We'd also like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for hanging out with us on Fiction Geeks, and we'll talk to you later.